I love fighting games. It's probably my favorite genre of games since I play them a lot, and I think it's something a lot more people should experience. One thing that is essential to the fighting game experience, that most of us, myself included, take for granted at times, is the character select screen. There's a lot going on in every character select screen. On the surface, a selection of personalities and designs is presented and you have to make a decision, a commitment. Deep down, it's an introduction to the game style. A preview of what the game is all about, aesthetic-wise. Something that will make or break one's impression of the game. Which leads me to this video. Today I'm going to talk about the top 10 fighting game character select screens. My criteria for this totally objective and not opinionated list are as follows. Number 1. Design. Everything's got to be organized or at least displayed well, not some jumbled mess where it becomes frustrating to navigate the screen. Character select screens that make you scroll through the characters are a huge turnoff for me, personally. Number 2. Music. The music's gotta hit right. It needs to be good, but not overwhelming. It needs to introduce us to the vibe of the game without revealing too much. And number 3. Style. This one's pretty self-explanatory. It's gotta look good, and it's gotta convey what the game's all about. Another thing, we're just going to talk about games that already came out, because if we're including games that have yet to be released, we all know who'd take number 1 easily. Anyways, simple and straightforward criteria really. Also feel free to share which characters in these screens you find yourself picking, or other character select screens you think are really good that I haven't included here. Without further ado, let's get to it. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. It's got a unique soundtrack to it, and it's got this ominous, foreboding vibe, which is very fitting considering the overarching plot of the whole game, the threat of the Deadly Alliance. That alliance sure was deadly. Mortal Kombat has a very unique and interesting soundtrack. Doesn't stand out too much, but it's got that kind of dark and ominous feel, befitting of the rated M fighting game.
Welcome to the King of Iron Fist Tournament 7.
Tekken 7. The glass shattering in slow motion, and the announcer saying, "Welcome to the King of Iron Fist Tournament 7," and the beat dropping as soon as you enter the character select. What a way to introduce a player to one of the best fighting games, if not the best, and also hypest fighting game of its time. Such a simple yet effective design, befitting of a game that doesn't have much else other than its dynamic gameplay and soundtrack, if we're going to be honest with ourselves here. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 2. Okay, honestly, with this one and the next one in the list, it could have gone either way. What I love about this character select screen is that it's the only entry in the list that transitions from the menu music, which I think is super cool. The soundtrack is just melancholic and beautiful, and the piano goes so hard here along with the ambient guitar in the background. Another thing I want to add is the display is simple and well organized. It's based on the character's teams, or alliances. It's easy to pick and choose which character you want to play. Soul Calibur 2. Honestly, iconic value aside, in the end there was no way I could rank this lower than the Naruto one, simply because it just has more going on, without being too much. The orchestral soundtrack characteristic of Soul Calibur, the freaking fire going on in the background, the use of the 3D models, and also after you make your selection, it plays a little animation and voice line of the character. Simply beautiful.
Please select your character.
Blaze Blue Calamity Trigger. Again, it was hard choosing between these next 3 entries without being at least a little bit biased. But whatever, it's my list. Anyways, I don't know why, but something about this character select theme gives me goosebumps. The harp's chord in the beginning gives off a feeling like some kind of divine retribution is about to take place, and then the whole orchestra just kicks in. It's intense. I also love how unique the aesthetic and design is here. You have the Black Beast aura slowly emanating from below, the boundary technology design encompassing the whole menu, the character portraits, and also the freaking emblems for each character. They made super detailed emblems for each of these characters, and they're just there in the background, and not even there to stand out. These folks didn't have to go so hard on the art style, but I appreciate that they did. Under Night in Birth. Okay, that synced with the piano in the beginning, and the entire character select screen quickly assembling itself is so freaking clean. This game also has a really cool style and presentation, with its urban nighttime vibes. Not to mention the Aurora Borealis here, in this character select screen, localized within the vicinity of what appears to be a metropolis. I love how it just reveals everything about the characters as you hover over them. Their art style and their sprites, the icons on the screen are also quite big, but not too big. The new version of this is also just as good if not better. What stands out the most to me is the character select theme. It is just absolutely beautiful, and is easily one of the best songs in any fighting game ever. Tekken 6. Yeah, this is where I might be a little biased. Yeah, that's right, I'm ranking this above Under Night in Birth and Soul Calibur 2, even though it is similar to the latter design-wise. Can't help it. The music is super hype and intense, and I'm a sucker for that backdrop of the burning town in the moonlight. It almost looks like the moonlit wilderness stage, plus the fire. Maybe it is. And again, they give you a taste of the character you choose in this massive roster, by showing the model in different camera angles and playing a little line or two. Also, the announcer sounds cool in this game. Killer Instinct 2012. Hella underrated fighting game thanks to Microsoft's stupid decision to make this a console exclusive at launch. This character select screen is simple, it goes so hard. The original character select theme already slapped, but because the composer of most of this game's soundtrack is Mick Gordon, you already know it's gonna go even harder. I love the grimy and ominous brutality of the whole Ultra Tech aesthetic. It's almost like Mortal Kombat, but with its own flavor. A damn shame this game isn't more popular. It has so much to offer.
Please select your character.
Guilty Gear XX Accent Core Plus R. How could I not put this one up there? This character select screen is rock and roll personified. It's raw, it's gritty, it's metal. Not only that, they go above and beyond with the character designs. And we're not just talking about how they use more than one render or how the characters look themselves. I mean, look at the fonts. They uniquely express what the character is all about. My personal favorite's the Order Soul Western kind of font. Anyways, the music is pretty cool too. It goes hard as a rock and roll soundtrack should. It's also rather tranquil, like the calm before the storm, before heaven and hell starts rocking. Honestly, this character select screen just speaks for itself. It goes above and beyond all the criteria. I don't need to add anything more. Before we get to number 1, let's go through some honorable mentions. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 almost made the list, but I personally can't stand how the characters are laid out, such a disorganized mess. DNF Duel, that music goes super hard. Otherwise, it's a very simple character select screen. Dragon Ball Z Budokai. I like the fun art style and the simple layout. I like the little chibi designs that they do for the characters. Street Fighter 4. I love that the music of this is a remix of the theme song, which is super hype. I can feel it coming over me. I feel it all around me. Soul Calibur 3. This could have made the list, but it does take longer to load the character models compared to 2. Understandable, but still. Number 1.
Welcome to the world of Street Fighter 3. Prepare for battle.
Street Fighter 3, Third Strike. Absolutely iconic, and for good reason. This is the coolest character select ever for arguably the coolest fighting game we've had so far. It's simple, well organized, the art style goes hard. They even have mini versions just so you know who to look for. But what stands out the most is the music. They really had someone write a rap song just for a character select. The beat slap and the lyrics are super catchy and flow nicely. What's most impressive is that the rapper Infinite only had 1 day to write this, along with 2 other iconic songs for the game. Also, in case you didn't already know, Infinite is also the iconic announcer. This character select screen puts a lot of emphasis on street, as it displays every fighter clearly for you to choose and pick your best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See what I did there?
Yeah, I see.
Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And please, if you want to see more fighting game content, let me know in the comments, leave a like, and maybe a subscribe as well. That would help me a lot. Thanks again, and be seeing you. Bye bye.